space called the football field to understandably the stands right there in the stadium, the TV sets, and ultimately to every street across the globe. We are glad to actually be here this lovely Wednesday afternoon to talk about the round leather game of soccer. We call this just football. My name is Ayo Animasahun, and I'm quite sure you're having a fantastic Wednesday. How about we just make it a lot better for you by keeping you updated with everything that is actually obtainable from that beautiful yet controversial world of football. And of course, to do justice to all of this is with me, Faith Adedeji. Good afternoon to you and welcome to Just Football.
Yeah, good afternoon, AY. Good afternoon, Ibadan. And beyond, obviously, another wonderful Wednesday afternoon. It's time for football and football alone. And, there's this super excitement that comes with the world of football generally, the disappointment, then the ecstasy, the euphoric feeling.
Agony.
The agony, of course.
Never forget that.
I saw the agony on the faces of Scottish fans and Scottish players last night. And on the other hand, we saw, the Croatians being super excited, super happy and all that. The euphoric feeling that comes with it. So, football will always give you both sides of the coin. And, whichever way, part of the coin you probably fall on this particular day. It might not be the best of days. But then, one thing about football is it continues to revolve. Tomorrow, your team...
Let me get your take on this controversial topic. Some usually say, although I also usually believe that football is a unifying factor in Nigeria, but another school of thought now believes just about any football, not necessarily the Super Eagles. You have a whole lot of people watching Arsenal, some watching perhaps Chelsea, and the best thing is that in as much as they support the same club, they have this euphoric feeling when their team is winning, and ultimately they also have their heads down when their team is trailing or losing. So it's not really, some would say it's not really a factor of the Super Eagles itself, but rather it's just about the football itself.
Yeah, it's about the round leather, undoubtedly. Some 5, 7, 8 years ago when I used to watch football at a particular viewing center, I had so many friends that I didn't even know their names for so many years.
But you guys see each other regularly.
And then you just be like, Baba, up whatever team you support and all that. So there's this affinity, there's this, unusual familiarity that automatically comes with football generally about the round leather, regardless of whether it's the Super Eagles, whether it is, international football, whether it is mini football, whether it's beach soccer, whether it's anyone.
Whether it's five-a-side.
So it's always very interesting in the world of football. And it's another wonderful time at this wonderful Wednesday afternoon on Just Football.
Indeed, we are so delighted to know that you're also at the other end to share this moment with us as we actually talk about football extensively and maybe a little bit exclusively as well. So let's quickly just get things on the way from Abuja, where the camp for the Super Eagles has opened in preparations for the friendly game against Mexico later next month. In fact, they had their first training session earlier today. It was about Austin Eguavoen actually captaining a team out of the 24 players, while his counterpart, or say his assistant coach in Paul Aibogun also coached another team. It was just pretty much an inter-team friendly in Abuja earlier today. Nothing really about the results, but it was Ibrahim Olawe, Enugu Rangers forward, that actually got the only goal for the team that won. I think it was Eguavoen's team that eventually won that one. But then, it's all about gearing up right now for the all-important fixture against Mexico. And talking about that fixture, one player is already, trying to throw his weight down and obviously lay down the marker. He goes by the name Christopher Nweze, who is actually the captain of Kwara United and has promised to actually give a good account of himself when the Super Eagles face Mexico in that international friendly on July 4. He says in his words, and I quote, "I'm happy with the latest developments about my career and that of my other teammates who also made the list, and I want to promise that we will give good account of ourselves in the national team." Quickly, I want to bring you back to the same man. He was part of the under 20 team.
Yeah,
take it from there.
I think he scored a goal at the under 20.
He got a goal, and the same game he got
a red card and all that, but a towering centre back does so well for his team, regardless of whatever is going on. He's been very influential or instrumental to what Kwara United have been able to do so far this season. And I always say the sky is the starting point for him. He's just 23 or 22 thereabouts.
Actually 20.
Well,
he played for the under 20 last year.
Yeah. So I thought he's added.
And at the age of 20, he's already
at the age of 20, you have to say that he's a very maybe that the weight of responsibility is being able to show that at this point is why I'm already thinking it's 22 or 23 or thereabouts. But it looks like the future for Nigeria. Yeah. It looks like the future for even Akwa United, or maybe you get somewhere going forward. But hopefully, these home-based Eagles in quotes now will be able to do well against the Mexicans. We want to see good results, good performance, regardless of the side of the Nigerian players that are turning out to don our jersey. All what we want is fantastic performances and fantastic, games day in day out. So hopefully they'll be able to do justice to the Mexicans later.
Hopefully they'll be able to do that. And interestingly, Sunday Adetunu, that's Rivers United striker, is also expected to team up with the team later today. Meanwhile, players from Abia Warriors and Enyimba would actually join up with the squad later tomorrow, albeit because of the fact that they are currently in action for their respective club in this scheduled MPFL fixture that is seeing Abia Warriors hosting their rivals Enyimba and the rescheduled match day 21 fixture. Hopefully before we leave the show,
Enyimba has scored in that game.
Enyimba, interesting.
Has scored in the 12th minute
quite
of
early.
That particular game.
Quite early for them. I mean, the man has seemingly found his goal scoring boots once again for Enyimba, and let's see for how far and how long will he be able to push the team, especially in the fact that they are still in pursuit of the league. I think they are still within touching distance of the top sports in that particular one. But away from the shores of the country now, let's quickly head straight to Europe, and starting right there from England, the camp of Liverpool, precisely as we're hearing that Mohamed Salah, one of their talisman, is actually keen to represent Egypt at the Olympic Games later this summer, despite the clash with Liverpool's pre-season schedule. Olympic squads, remember, can actually select 3 overage players. I mean, players above the age of 24. And Egypt are clearly hopeful Salah will be able to actually convince Liverpool to let him feature. The Egyptian FA claims Salah is lobbying Liverpool to allow him travel to Tokyo, but the Reds have decided against releasing their star man. Salah is already booked in to miss part of the new campaign due to the African Cup of Nations sometimes in January, all things being equal. Now, Liverpool are pretty much put in this very, very unwanted dilemma. What do you think is really the easy way out, or if there's anything like that?
Well, I know if you want to say it, we always want him to represent his national team, especially for someone that has played, maybe throughout the different age grades for Egypt. He's played in the under-20 team. He's played in the under-23 team. He's been in the national team since 2011 as well. So you understand that maybe he wants to complete that cycle by playing in the Olympic Games and all that. But, if his team is looking at the fact that come January, you would definitely be going to the African Cup of Nations. Now, you would not start the season with us, because if you don't get to make the preseason tournament, the preseason preparation with your team, you most likely will not start the season with your team and all that. So that would be too much of a burden for Liverpool, considering how important and how phenomenal it's been for them over the course of the last few years. It's been with Liverpool since 2017, as a matter of fact. So, whichever way they finally finalize it, but I hope that Salah will be able to make sure that it doesn't it doesn't irk both parties, get Liverpool on board, and also if he gets the opportunity. But it will always be beautiful to have Salah at the Olympic Games. I think he's one of the best players right now in world football.
Interestingly, I remember a certain John Mikel Obi was actually found in this very unwanted situation going to the 2016 Olympic Games. But I think the only difference was Mikel had already won the African Cup of Nations title with the Super Eagles. I'm not sure Salah has ever won any title with the Pharaohs of Egypt. I stand to be corrected on that. So you can understand his own eagerness. So at least lays hands on any possible title with the Egyptian national team, so be it the Olympic team or perhaps even the senior national team. But a quick break we'll do right now. And when we return, we'll actually be talking extensively about some transfer gist. They're looking quite interesting. There is Tyron Eboyi, there's Akan Chanaloglu right there in the transfer segment. And of course, AC Milan looking into the camp of Chelsea to perhaps raid for about 2 or 3 players. We'll actually talk about that before we round things up right there with updates from the UEFA Euro Nations League. UEFA Euros Championship rather, going on right there. This is still Just the Ball right here on Splash 105.5 FM.
If you want confidence and a baffle, Premier Cool, it keeps you fresh and it's Premier Cool, you go shine for body and you go fresh. If you want confidence and a baffle.
Stay chilled with Premier Cool Toilet Soap. Removes 99.9% of germs and contains real menthol extracts for that icy cool feel. Hey,
Hey, Michael, how's life?
Life is great, Frankie, but it's really hectic, man. Right from when I leave for office in the morning to the long hours I spend at work, and then the traffic snails while coming back home leaves me feeling tired and stressed all the time.
Guy, I can totally relate to that. I've found a solution. Revital.
Revital combines the power of Panax Ginseng, 11 vitamins and 9 minerals, and is clinically proven to fight tiredness and stress. Revital, physically active, mentally alert. A quality product from Rambaxi, a Sun Pharma company.
When malaria won't show power for your side, it gon' knock you down. I'm a temp soft gel. Me I can tell you no say, malaria medicine when no get bad taste or bitter taste for mouth, and it easy to swallow. Try, I got red game changer. I'm a temp soft gel.
Amatem soft gel now to treat malaria. If body not well after 3 days, see a doctor.
Our oil sachet, 79 right, only 79. I said our oil sachet now, 79 only 79. I'm gonna get cooking oil now, 79 for a healthy family. 79 I'm gonna get cooking oil now, 79 our oil sachet, 79
Power oil for a healthy family.
Babe, that girl must be using something.
Hey, Berry, what kind of something?
You to see how she's always smiling, displaying her 32.
You're cuckoo right. I know her secrets. I know what she's using. She uses it twice a day.
Tell me her secrets.
I'll give you a hint. ABZ.
ABZ?
Yes, ABZ is the secret. Close-Up contains antibacterial zinc, ABZ, which gives you 3 times more freshness and 3 times more protection. Better than your regular toothpaste. Now you know the ABZ secret.
The new Close-Up is her secret. Everybody must hear.
You can't keep a secret.
New Close-Up with antibacterial zinc. Triple the freshness, triple the protection.
Ever thought about how movies always have soundtracks to epic moments? A father walks his daughter down the aisle. Someone makes a major breakthrough.
Yes!
The hero saves the day. So, tell me, what sounds do you hear when you know you're going to crush that test, hit that target, get that promotion, ask her out, start that business, strike that deal, win the prize, shatter the ceiling? It probably sounds something like this.
Go for it, go for it, go for it, go for it, go for it.
Sounds like Dano milk cheering you on, doesn't it? Arla Dano, available in many variants to nourish you every step of the way.
Báwo lẹ̀rọ àgbéká rẹ ṣe wúlò fún ọ sí?
Sí àkáǹtì EcoBank Expressive.
Kó o sì ní àǹfààní àyẹ̀wò tó bá ṣe déédéé. Tẹ *326# láti ṣí àkáǹtì EcoBank Expressive tiẹ̀ lónìí. Láìsí ìwé kankan, kò sí ìyọnu, kò sì ṣẹ́jọ́ rárá. EcoBank, báǹkì gbogbo ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀.
Good night, Susan.
Oh, good night, sir.
Hi. You need it when? Okay, we'll get it done. Guys, we can't leave. We've got to finish the client's order tonight. Tonight?
This time?
How about some top tea to cheer us up? Tea.
Top tea.
Only 1 bag of top tea makes 2 strong cups. So taste to know more flavor, enjoyment,
great
friendship, and upliftment.
Wow, this is gorgeous.
Taste to know. Top tea.
Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad.
Are you sure?
Yes, Ma. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is that jollof ready?
See?
Right on time.
Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
Mommy, the jollof is yummy.
I wouldn't miss this jollof for anything.
It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma. All thanks to Sonia. Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
Why are you so excited?
Just saw the blender I've been looking for on Jumia with a woof discount.
Yes! Jumia 9th anniversary sale is on. Get up to 70% off TVs, blenders, phones, and groceries. Buy Benetton blender for 13,990 naira. Use the voucher code J9, that is JANINE, for extra 15% discount and enjoy next day delivery. Rush now as offer valid till June 26. Terms and conditions apply.
Jumia, your everyday delivered.
Still rocking, still rocking the Amnesty. Let's get it.
Okay, we're right back on. Just football. Beg your pardon. Maybe Dani Alves or maybe Gary Neville. Quickly to just wrap things up now.
Neville is retired.
Neville is retired. How about Dani Alves? He's still active, isn't he? Or maybe a Tyrone Ebueyi.
Yeah, better.
He's actually in the transfer news this lovely Wednesday afternoon because as we're hearing, according to transfer reports, though, is actually a bit of an interest right there for newly promoted Serie A side Venezia. Remember, Tyrone Ebueyi has actually endured a bit of horrible injury. How do I put it now?
He has a terrible injury.
Terrible injury record right there. And of course, he hasn't enjoyed his time right with Benfica, whom he enjoyed at 2018, I believe. But right now, he's in a bit of interest right now for Venezia, which is a newly promoted Serie A club. Hopefully, would actually get this deal done and get more playing time under his belt. But right there in the camp of AC Milan, they've actually acquired the service of Inter Milan midfielder Hakan Çalhanoğlu on free transfer. The 27-year-old who was actually instrumental in helping Milan actually returned to the Champions League for the first time since 2014 last season, as he contributed 4 goals and 10 assists. Quite controversial transfer here.
Well, I know players moving from AC to Inter.
You hardly see that happen.
Well, I think it happens a lot.
You hardly do.
From both teams. Yeah, we've had many players play for both sides. I remember Taribo West. Yeah. I played for AC, played for Inter. Zlatan played for both clubs. Yeah. Edgar Davies played for both
Vieri
clubs.
As well.
Vieri did so. Ronaldo de Lima did so. Clarence Seedorf did so.
We haven't seen that recently, have we?
Yeah, the rivalry in recent times, maybe down to the pedigree of both teams, maybe because they've not been doing so well in recent times and all that.
But Çalhanoğlu, what do you think it will bring, and what exactly does this mean to Inter?
Yeah, it might be Inter looking past Eriksen right now. They're already looking at replacing Eriksen. There's a high chance that Eriksen might not come back to professional football. Of course, that is not confirmed, obviously. Yeah. But then you're not sure he'll be able to play at that highest level any longer, even when he comes back and all that. So maybe that is what they're looking at. They're already preparing for the future and all that. So we'll wait to see what Çalhanoğlu will bring.
And for a team that is already reported to be cash-strapped, Inter Milan, this is an absolute steal because it is actually free transfer, although not totally free because you have to still pay the transfer fee to the player himself and also his agent. But then this is pretty much a steal right there for them. But it seems AC Milan are not done yet. They've already acquired the service of Fikayo Tomori as well from Chelsea. But at least we are also hearing that they still want to raid the Blues for the service of Olivier Giroud, Hakim Ziyech, and Timo Bakayoko, who obviously was on loan with them a couple of seasons ago. Wait to see which of those players will eventually get to join them before the season gets underway in August. But right now, from the camp of Tottenham Hotspur, their search for Jose Mourinho's replacement still continues. And the latest man to, at least according to reports, turn them down is Sevilla head coach Giulio Lopetegui, who has actually decided to extend his stay right there with Sevilla. It's not looking good right now for Tottenham. We wait to find out, especially as they have a new managing director, Fabio Paratici, in town, and seems not to actually be having an easy first set of weeks in charge right there in his new position. But now let's talk about the Euro Championships. We have 2 set of matches getting underway in a matter of 33 minutes from now. First, we'll be having Sweden up against Poland, and then Spain up against Slovakia. It's quite easy for Poland to get a victory against Sweden and you progress to the next round. Sweden also need to avoid defeat to also progress, but a defeat could at least still help them as well, perhaps finish as one of the best top players. But let's talk about Spain against Slovakia. It will be a monumental disappointment should Spain get knocked out at this stage of the competition.
Yeah, that would be very terrible if they don't get to qualify. I mean, look at the kind of group they got themselves in. In that group E, they had teams like Sweden, Slovakia, and Poland. If you actually asked me prior to the competition to make a guess, you would have said that Spain would get 9 points, maximum points from that group. But they've had a terrible, run of form in this competition, especially in front of goal with Alvaro Morata. He's been struggling. Of course, he scored in the last game, but he still missed missed a very important goal. Then Moreno also missed the penalty in the last game, but they need to win it. It's still within their grasp. It's still within their reach. All they need to do is get that all-important victory against the very impressive Slovakia so far in this competition. So I think that is one game to look out for. And then most importantly, their captain Busquets is also back to the team. So maybe that will bring an added boost to the Spaniards.
Interesting. We also had a couple of fixtures played yesterday. One of them actually saw England progressing as group winners right there from Group D, albeit with a 1-0 victory over, I think that was against the Czech Republic. But then they will now face, most likely face France, Portugal or Germany. The identity of their next opposition will be determined later this night.
Whoever comes second.
Exactly, second in that group. Germany up against Hungary. Perhaps an easy walk in the park you expect for the Germans. But then Portugal against France, a repeat of the 2016 final.
Yeah, definitely. World champions against European champions. This is the kind of glamorous games you want to see in this kind of big competition. But then, the chips are down for both teams. They need to get results. But for France, they know that the worst thing they will get is getting a third place, one of the best loser position in that particular one. But this is one game that will be very important for this Portuguese crop of stars, the Cristiano Ronaldo's, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva and all that. Hopefully they'll be able to get the result. But all importantly, we want goals, and I don't see it in that game.
Indeed. This is Just Football on Splash 105.5 FM. Unfortunately, this is where we get to leave on this edition of the show. Don't you worry, the show will make a return later next Wednesday, 4 or 5 p.m. But then, before that time, we've got Sports Bank coming back for your listening pleasure later tomorrow morning at 7:30 in the morning. Do join us by then to actually take a retrospective look into all that would have happened later this evening and going into the night. And remember, we've got NBA actions as well coming in up later in the wee hours of tomorrow. Thank you very much, Faith Adedeji, for being a part of the show this
it's been a pleasure.
afternoon. And of course, big thanks to you as well on the other side to listen to us. My name is Ayobami Animasahun.